up everyone, good morning. It is 1:15 in the afternoon, so that's my good morning. Guys, today's my rest day, so that's why you know, I needed to sleep, and yeah, that's why I got up a bit earlier. Today's a bit of a chill day, you know, you see me do a bit of housework, maintenance, body maintenance, and all these things. And I'm actually heading out because the Olympic rings I ordered, you've seen yesterday, or day before, I don't know. Actually, they sent me the wrong ones, so I need to send them back, but to be able to do that on Amazon, you need to print something out. So I need to go to a printing shop and get that printed. At the same time, I'm gonna get some eggs, because I want to eat scrambled eggs right now. I had a banana just now, so that was my very first meal. And I'm actually really good on track in terms of weight, which I'm really happy with. And today I want to answer a couple of questions because that was requested, saying, Mark, can you not just do a Q&A session? I think it's better to take one or two questions and answer them while I'm on this journey here, on this challenge, because now plugging in just a video for a Q&A, I don't think that's going to be a good thing. Or maybe it is, I don't know. I mean, you let me know. But yeah, so after I've done all the printing and stuff, I'm gonna answer one of your questions, and then we'll head into the day, into the sunny day. So that shop is closed, which means that's where I did my printing. Today's Sunday, guys, and that means most shops will be closed. So I know there's like a Waitrose that way, so we're gonna be going there and see. Maybe they do some printing as well. I don't know. They probably won't. So I'm gonna be looking for another shop, not a printing shop. If I won't find one, I will need to reschedule the pickup of the parcel, which is due to be collected on Monday. But it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. By the way, yesterday in the gym there was the air conditioner on, so I was training, and the air conditioner was blowing onto my neck all the time. And in German, it's called, you get a Zug. I have actually no idea again what that means in English. Just means that your muscle is sort of tensed and it feels like, you know, I barely can turn my neck. Which is going to be really shit for tomorrow's session, but yeah. So let me know what that word is in English and write it into the comment box, because I need to learn some more English. So let me know what that word is. Alright, I got home. I didn't manage to print out this thingy, but it doesn't really matter. So let me show what I'm eating. I'm eating cheesy eggs again, chicken breast, more chicken breast in the bread roll, and a little coffee. Lunch and brunch, and I don't know, however you want to call it. Just want to show you what I'm eating. Alright, so I'm halfway through the editing process now. I set up here, and I got another little snack. So what I did is took the Greek yogurt out of the fridge, was half full, and I put in around a handful of blueberries and a handful of blackberries. So that's gonna be my snack now. Now it's 3:30, so you know, keeps me going, and it's a really healthy option. So give it a try. While the video is exporting, I made some more food. This is basically chicken, broccoli, some grated cheese. Yeah, that's sort of what I'm having right now. Alright, so I'll have a look at a couple of questions, and then we'll see what we can find, which one we're going to be addressing. Justin is asking, can you give me a forearm exercise? Well, Justin, the thing is, I don't do any forearm exercise because every time you grip something, your forearm is included anyway. So if you do deadlifts, pull-ups, all that stuff, if you're doing weights, you will always increase your grip strength. So basically every pulling motion, everything you pull towards you, if it's overhead, in front, like a normal row, or from bottom to top, you will always increase your grip strength. And if you do a lot of ring training, like Olympic rings, you know, you will be you will be holding on for your life. So in my opinion, there's no need to do a forearm. You know, you see these curls, for example. If you don't have a tennis elbow or something like that, then these exercises are not necessary, in my opinion. Charlie wants to know, he's saying, what type of food should I eat to lose weight and which one should I avoid? Now, Charlie, like, this is a very, very common question, and it's not about the foods. There is no superfood out there which will make you magically drop, you know, 20 kilos in one day and stuff like that, what you've been promised over the media and magazines and stuff. The thing is, like I'm talking in my dieting series, if you haven't seen it, click over here, you can see the dieting playlist. It's much more important that you first of all stay in your calorie target, in a surplus if you want to gain weight, in a deficit if you want to lose weight. Once you've got that sort of figured out, then we have a look obviously at the food you eat. And it is important, don't get me wrong, it is important that you eat good foods, solid foods, not processed and all that stuff. But you know, I go into this question very detailed in this dieting series, so make sure you watch that. Long story short, there's no one single food which will make you lose weight or is the best food you should be eating. It's the combination of loads of foods. I always say single ingredient foods. You know, make sure that it like a banana doesn't need a food label. So the less processed, the better. Really, that's how we roll here. Clement says, Mark, I'm not sure about what you said about the protein intake. What is the amount of protein you should be taking in? Thanks for the comments, by the way. So what research is telling us is that the sufficient amount of protein we need to sustain our muscle mass and even build muscle is at 0.82 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Meaning that everything you take on top doesn't increase performance, or it doesn't build more muscle. So if someone says you need to take 2 grams per pound of body weight, 3 grams or 4 grams or 20 grams per pound of body weight, more is not always good. Okay, so in terms of, there's this graph which shows you at some point, you know, a graph flattens out at the top, and that happens at 0.82 grams per pound of body weight, and then everything after that isn't necessary anymore. The only person who would tell you that you need to eat more protein is obviously the supplement companies, because they want to make sure that you keep working down the supplement, the protein shakes and so on. Not that they don't have their place. I talked about this before. It is good to take supplements. If you haven't seen my talk about that, click over here. But generally speaking, that is how much protein you should be taking. You could, rule of thumb, to make it really easy, 1 gram. You know, you're not going to go wrong with that. 1 gram per pound of body weight. Really easy, right? Simple as that. Next one. Ollie says you're addicted to caffeine. Damn right I am. Just a joke, guys. So the thing is with caffeine, like I talked before, it's the supplement, which is, or this substitute, which is in most pre-workouts. And the thing is, it's one of the most researched supplements in the sports industry in terms of performance enhancement, increase focus, increase performance, and so on. So it is a really good supplement, and it aids weight loss as well. Because what it really does, it elevates your heart rate, your metabolic rate, for an extended period of time. So in terms of, let's say you have 60 heartbeats a minute, if you now drink caffeine, that might go to 65 or 70 heartbeats a minute. That over a day means your overall body expenditure will increase. That's why it's said to aid weight loss, really. Now, a lot of people who are cutting in the bodybuilding industry, they all take caffeine or green tea extract or all this stuff to increase their metabolic rate, just to, you know, burn some extra calories. That's sort of the logic behind it. That's what I'm doing in the very end stages of my cut. So basically in the last 2 weeks, I'm increasing my caffeine to 400 or 500 milligrams. Now, take that much caffeine throughout the day, you will have a hard time sleeping, and you've seen that in my videos that I didn't sleep that well because I'm, you know, still at 5-6 o'clock I was drinking coffee. So what I did is I went down a little bit, or I consume my whole lot of caffeine in the mornings, so my body is able to get rid of it throughout the day. So after I finish my 30-day challenge, I'm going to cut that back down to something like 200 to 300 milligrams, which is normal, like 2 to 3 cups of coffee. Brandy Gamer is asking, so, you know, if I go on a holiday, how can I maintain my muscle mass if I don't have a gym or anything with me? Now, bodyweight training is a great way of maintaining and not losing any muscle mass. Now, the thing is, if you are really hitting the gym with 5x5, or, you know, the German volume training, or whatever kind of training you're doing to increase size, hypertrophy, getting bigger, like, you know, bulking up properly, you need to load on weights. I mean, there's there's mostly no other way. Body weight will at one point stagnate, and you will need to do something to be able to still increase muscle mass. But you know, at this point, if you're following this channel, you know I'm not about bulking up and looking like Hulk Hogan. Mine is more looking like an athlete, getting an athlete's body. And so what I would say is, generally, if you are into weights and you want to transition into body weight during your holidays, what you should be doing is try to do like push-ups, pull-ups, and so on to failure, like 2 to 3 sets back to back, not back to back, but like say you go into push-ups and you do push-ups as many as you really can until you fatigue. Then you go into pull-ups, you do as many as you can until you fatigue. You do squats until you fatigue. You do 3 rounds of those. That should be sufficient for the amount of, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks to not lose any muscle. But you won't really build muscle with that. If you are a proper lifter, then yeah, you need to make sure to hit the weights again. Okay, last question comes from Pop David. He's saying, Mark, what do you think on fruit smoothies and juices and stuff? Is this something you would recommend? Now, you've seen me go to Toast, where I get this green juice, and what I do is I always tell them don't put apples inside, because what they do, they juice it. They don't... The difference between a juice and a smoothie really is that the juice is mostly the pulp, so the fiber and stuff gets separated from the juice, so you're basically just drinking sort of the sugary, watery stuff from the apple, and the vitamins is just great, but the fiber is the stuff which also holds a lot of vitamins and stuff which you need for your digestion in terms of your bowel movement. So therefore I would always say go for a smoothie rather than a juice, and don't overdo it, because you know, remember that it is still sugar. Put that into your calorie allowance and should be fine. I normally, instead of the fruit juice, actually eat the whole fruit. So I eat bananas, apples, blueberries, blackberries. You know, I eat them throughout the day, and you see me eating them on this channel anyway. So that's what I would do. I would actually eat the fruit compared to the juice, and instead of the juice, go for some water. I'm just chilling here in bed, and you know what is funny? This watch, it says it's time to move. This is really funny because, you know, like I told you before, this Polar watch is really, you know, making sure you're staying on track with your fitness. So that's pretty cool. I definitely recommend to get something like that. You know, if you don't get your butt out of the bed sometimes. I'm just waiting for the last video I edited to be uploaded. Just chilling here in bed. Today's my off day, my rest day, and yeah, I have one more meal to make, which is gonna be fish, sea bass, and some salad. Now it's 9 o'clock. I uploaded the videos. I've done everything today, more or less. Let me just show you what I'm eating. I'm having a salad with some tomatoes, and this is basically sea bass, like I think like around 300 grams of sea bass. The nice thing about sea bass is it's very low in fat and carbs, very high in protein, so a nice thing to do. I added some salt on top as well. Yeah, so that's gonna be my dinner for today, and guess now it's time to keep punching everything. So punch the like button, punch the subscribe button, and that's basically it. Don't punch more than that, and I'll see you tomorrow.